Welcome to Your Wealth Matters. I am Maria Dawes, Portfolio Manager at Capstone Asset Management, and today I'm joined by my fellow Portfolio Manager on the Private Wealth team, Janet Kinsing. Hi, Janet.
Hi.
We have a special guest with us, and we are very thankful to have Dan Poelman, Chief Financial Officer at Capstone Asset Management, and he is taking the time out of his busy day to chat with us. So, Dan, first off, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, who you are, where did you work previously?
Yeah, sure. Well, hi, Janet and Maria. Thank you for having me. So, a bit about myself. I was born and raised in the Fraser Valley and am now a Langley resident, actually living very close to our new office here in Langley. My wife and I have two young children at home, and we enjoy keeping them occupied and entertained as much as possible. Previous to this role, I worked in a few different companies, actually, each which contributed in different ways to the skills and experience that I use here in this position at Capstone. So I started my career in 2008 as an auditor at KPMG, working primarily with small and medium-sized businesses with a fair bit of exposure to tax matters, including quite a bit of tax compliance work. From there, I went on to work at a car dealership in Coquitlam as the controller, where I learned the ropes of working in industry, what we call, and really started to understand the perspective of an owner-managed business and their perspective and biases that they'll have in that. After 4 years in that role, I took a position with the regulator of the dairy industry in BC as their director of finance. And in that role, I managed the finances and also learned quite a bit about the role of the regulator in an industry. Now, a much different industry than this one here. But I also played a part in the development of various policies at a provincial and at a national level. So that was fairly captivating. After 4 years, 4.5 years in that position, I was excited to return to the private sector and stretch my learning again, which is what brought me to Capstone.
Thanks, Dan. That's a great introduction. And can you tell us what is your role now at Capstone and how long you've been here so far?
I joined Capstone Asset Management as the Chief Financial Officer just over 1.5 years ago in February of 2022. It's been a full 18 months, certainly achieving the goal of stretching my learning, which is what I was looking for when joining.
It certainly has been a full 18 months. I can definitely attest to that. So, Dan, what are you currently working on?
Yeah, I always seem to have several things on the go here. There's lots of variety in my day and my work. Currently, a few things that are keeping me busy right now include working on our June 30, 2023 unaudited financial statements for our funds. This is a much less intense process than when we get our December 31st financial statements audited each year, but still a fairly sizable project. Summer months is also a time to perform quite a bit of cleanup and lesser priority projects that have been accumulating throughout the busy season, the previous 6 months of the year. So cleaning up and improving certain reporting tools, addressing less urgent tax matters, as well as reviewing policies and procedures for our funds and other entities that may need updates are examples of that. Another item that I'm fairly busy with that falls into my plate is managing the financial and tax side of the new funds that we are in the middle of getting up off the ground here at Capstone. So these funds include the Capstone Treasury Pool, which now has close to 3 months of operations under its belt, as well as the Capstone Stewardship Extension Funds and the Capstone Kinvest Impact Fund. Both of these last two funds that I mentioned we're looking to launch in the next 4 to 6 weeks. So it's a busy time. There are also so many hours of behind the scenes work all around our firm that go into launching these funds and get them operational.
That's great, Dan. So, last question for you, and that is, what are you most looking forward to? Pretty broad question, of course. So maybe you could share something personal and maybe something professional.
Yeah, you bet. So on a personal side, one thing my family and I are pretty excited about is that after my wife and I refusing to try for the last 6 years, a lot of my refusal was that we recently discovered that we can indeed camp with young children, and have gone so far as to purchase a tent trailer to give it a go a little bit more often. We had a trip earlier this summer that, all things considering, went really well, and we are looking forward to making this more of our thing going forward. So it's pretty exciting. On the professional side, well, it is a little overwhelming at times. I do look forward to our fall, where we'll be making more concrete plans and gathering information for our year end, and setting ourselves up for another successful audit and tax season here at Capstone. As an accountant, there's nothing quite more comforting than a well laid out plan. So this is the exciting part about it, I guess. I should also say there's been a lot of groundwork over the last year on our new funds, which I was referring to earlier. Um, and it's with them launching soon. This is exciting to be part of the firm's growth and expansion in these new areas.
Dan, we have so appreciated you being here, not just with us today, but at Capstone, and your presence has been a blessing already in this very short period. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for saying that. Thanks, Maria.
And to our viewers, we hope that you've enjoyed this special edition of Your Wealth Matters, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Till then, bye for now.
Bye.